I got terrible sleep last night, but fortunately, I'm able to do this video with you guys today because I have a secret stack that I'm gonna share with you. And if you start doing this, if you get terrible sleep, it's really gonna transform your life. It's really gonna help you stay motivated, stay energized, keep your cognitive function, and really make the most out of those days. Because for me, when I don't get a good night's sleep, I know there's people out there that they can not sleep and they're fine and they say they function properly. They can do everything that they are supposed to be doing, but I'm not one of those people. If I don't get a good night's sleep, the next day for me is totally wrecked. I cannot function. I would rather just spend the day kind of resting, relaxing, and trying to gain back that sleep debt. But fortunately, there are ways around it. Now, first of all, it's always good to try to have a good sleep routine and try to get a good night's sleep anyway, because sleep is one of the most powerful indicators for longevity, for your health, for your mood, for your drive, and also for manifesting. Because if you don't get good sleep, your brain, which is the filter for all of this stuff that you're trying to do, is not going to be able to function properly. You're not going to have the neuroplasticity to change your identity, to change your thoughts, to change your beliefs if you don't get good sleep. And everybody knows it's important, but a lot of people, I've found that a lot of my patients and clients and people come to me, that's one of the things that they really struggle with. So yes, I'm gonna do a video on how to have a good sleep routine and the things you can do to optimize your sleep. But in the meantime, while you're fixing all that stuff, this is gonna change your life. So I call it the 20 by 20 protocol because it's 20 by 20 of 2 different supplements. And when you take these together, it gives you more dopamine. It decreases their overall inflammation. It's gonna give your cells more energy to function. And when we do that, the research has shown with these 2 products that it can totally mitigate your sleep debt if you got a bad sleep the night before. So the first product and that I'm gonna show you is one that everybody kind of knows about. People take it for their health. Everybody knows it's good for them. And it's the light chemical, the light hormone, and that's vitamin D, right? So when you're choosing a vitamin D, it's really important to know your sources. I worked a lot of years in the supplement industry, formulating products, rating products, companies, things like that. And there's a lot of bad practices out there where people will make supplements and what's in the bottle is what's on the label is not actually what's in the bottle. So you need to find a good brand that you trust, that has a good reputation. Don't just look at reviews on Amazon because a lot of them are not real. Like people pay for those. You got to kind of do your research and buy directly from the company, even if it's on Amazon, right? So I really like this company, Pure Encapsulations. Most of their, this is not a promotion for their products either. I just like the brand. I think it's a good quality supplement. They have good manufacturing processes, and what you pay for is usually what you get. So what you're gonna do is, for the first part of this, 20,000 IUs, which would be 5 of these, this is a 4,000 IUs, capsules. Do that in the morning. So when you do it in the morning, it's gonna help reset your circadian rhythm, because normally what you would do, you wake up at the sun's gonna hit your eyes, it's gonna hit your skin, your body's gonna start producing its own natural vitamin D, but we're gonna jumpstart that cycle by taking it in supplement form. And you need to take it with K2 in order for it to activate so you don't get calcium buildup in your cardiovascular system and in your organs and things like that. So you need to really take a really good vitamin D with the K2. And another boost to make it work a little bit better is take it with some fat. So for me, I like to stack it with caffeine. If you're not a caffeine person, then ignore this part of it. but I like to take it with some fat. So I'll take my coffee. I'm not gonna put this in my coffee. I'm gonna take it separately. And in my coffee, I'll do a little MCT oil, which also helps with cognitive function. It'll go right into the cells for energy, right into your brain. Or I like a good, really high quality raw milk. So the raw milk has full fat, so you're gonna get that good fat. You're gonna get the omega-3s from the raw milk, especially if it's grass-fed, which it should be. And just a disclaimer on this part of it, you're not gonna put this in the liquid that you drink, whether it's coffee, juice, really good structured water. You're not gonna put this in there. So I have to say that because along my years of working in the supplement industry, I found if you're not really clear with the instructions, people are not gonna follow them properly. One time when I was working at this company that's really well known, they do everything in little packets. So like a lot of their products are in these little plastic bags. They have multiple different ingredients in there, and you just take a bag. So they have ones for like just a multivitamin, like a fat burner, things like that. So one time I was working there, and this is kind of funny, but it's kind of gross at the same time. This guy called in, and we had a money back guarantee. And he wanted his money back because he said the product didn't work, didn't do anything for him. And I was just asking him some questions about it, and he said, oh, well, the bags didn't even dissolve. They were in the toilet after. I kind of just pooped them out. It's like, what do you mean? And he just paused for a minute. And he goes, oh, you're not supposed to swallow the whole bag? Because most people with common sense would know, like if there's pills in a plastic bag, you rip open the bag and then you take the pills out of the bag and take them that way. Well, this guy just was swallowing the whole bags, and he went through, it was like 21 packets and just swallowed them all. Didn't obviously digest because the plastic prevented that, and just pooped them all out. So clear instructions, take this separately. Don't put it in your whatever liquid that you're doing, okay? The second part of this is creatine. Creatine monohydrate, the most classic bodybuilding supplement that there is. A lot of people take it for muscle gain, muscle mass, getting a few more reps out in the gym. But we're gonna do it to mitigate sleep. So the way creatine works is it helps your cells, your mitochondria, to produce more ATP. ATP is the energy powerhouse of your cell, right? So all of your muscles have that. That's why you're able to get a couple more reps out, increase stress in the muscle, which will result in more muscle gain with the repair process, right? But all of the cells in your body produce ATP, especially two big organs, right? So your heart is one, and your brain. Your brain uses so much of the energy of your body. Literally, all the organs in your body are there to support your brain, to support your nervous system, right? So we need to do the things to support our brain, to support our nervous system, because our brain is our receiver for consciousness, right? Our brain is our receiver for reality. When our brain works better, we receive better thoughts. When our brain works better, all those practices of like journaling, identity shifting, reality transurfing, they all work better when your brain is functioning better, because your brain is able to actually make those new connections a lot easier and stick. So if you're trying these practices and they're working for a little bit of time and then you fall off, it's because your brain didn't wire that in, right? So we need to create an environment of a high energy, of neuroplasticity, where your brain can wire that in. And when we don't have enough sleep, we don't have the energy to do that, right? Our body didn't recover in a way that we have the energy to create those new connections and also just go throughout our day. So when you don't have good sleep, you're gonna have bad thoughts. You're gonna be on a lower vibrational frequency because of your nervous system functioning. Your nervous system is where all this frequency kind of lies in, right? So when you take the creatine, which you can put, I do 20 grams in my coffee. You can split it up into 2 doses. You could do 10 and 10, but I just do straight 20 grams. If for some reason that gives you like gastrointestinal upset, just split it up. But I just like to keep it simple. 20 grams, 20 IUs, okay? And that's really all it is. That's a really simple stack. And there's ways that you can kind of enhance this stack by going outside, get some sunlight, get some natural vitamin D going, get the natural process of vitamin D going on top of that. The MCT oil in your coffee is also gonna help. Don't do too much because you might spend your day in the bathroom. Just enough, right? Just a little bit, that's all you need. Unless you're used to taking it or you're used to having a high-fat diet. And when you do this stack, give it a little bit, you're gonna actually get more clarity. You're not gonna feel that sleep debt that you would have from the night before. And you're gonna have more energy. Your body's gonna have more dopamine, so you're gonna have more motivation. You're gonna have overall less inflammation in your body, and your whole nervous system is gonna function better. Now, I don't recommend doing this all the time, and this is a little late in the video, but disclaimer, I am a chiropractor, a doctor, but I'm not your doctor. This is just what works for me, what works for my clients. So if you have any health issues, check with your own doctor, right? Don't just kind of do this if you have anything going on. This is purely for educational purposes. But educational in a way that I hope that if you do try it, that it does help you. And I hope it helps you maintain your energy and your focus throughout the day, because we all have, like, no matter what, things happen, right? So whether it's like one time a month or one time a week or a few times a year or one time a week, all those little things add up, and it creates a compound effect of missed days, of less energy, of less function, of a lower vibration. So we want to just do the things to create the environment that allows the highest vibrational frequency possible and allows us to get the most out of our days and allows us to achieve and reach our goals faster. Because what's the point in having these visions, having these goals and doing them if they're not going to show up in a timely manner, right? Of course we have to have patience, but sometimes you don't have to do things to give yourself a crutch. You don't have to handicap yourself. Create the environment for those things to manifest. Do what you need to. Use the supplements, right? So I'd recommend only doing this when you need to. These are things you could take on a daily basis, but just not in those doses. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I'm going to be posting some other protocols and things like that on this channel with supplements to help you, with like your hormones and cardiovascular system and memory, things like that. So I'm going to put this on that playlist. So check out the playlist as those videos show up. Because I think it'll be helpful. Maybe a lot of people know some of these things, but don't apply them in this way. So when you apply it with like the intention of your brain functioning better, raising your vibration, manifesting your reality, optimizing and supporting your video game controller for the simulation, it kind of changes the results, because the intention and everything behind it is a little bit different. It might look the same on the outside, but just like in martial arts, you could be waving your hands around in the air, throwing punches, but the intention and the energy can be different behind it versus a experienced martial artist practitioner who knows how to channel that energy, create the intention, focus it, versus someone who's just kind of waving their hands around in the air, right? So if you don't want to be one of those people just waving your hands around in the air and just being effective, try this. Try some of the other things that I'm going to drop on this channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a comment. Let me know how it went, and I will see you on the next video.